Okay, guys, I'm going to start recording this. I just started recording this, I should say. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As you can see, we are doing kind of like a marketing 101 tonight. Phil was going to join us tonight, but he's running a little bit late. So you guys are stuck with me tonight doing his marketing presentation. Someone else is coming in, just letting her in. Um, just a little backstory of what's happening here, Just Adventures. June 1st, we're relaunching our website. We're relaunching the public facing part of our website, but we are also relaunching our agent only site. It's going to look very different. We're now going to do something called someone else coming in. And let me just mute. We are going to be doing something called the training roadmap. So we've had agents with us for 7 years since we first started that are still with us. So you guys know we kind of try to give you a lot of information, but not too many, like a lot of host agencies where it's like hundreds of suppliers or anything like that. We're going to niche it down even more on the new website that's launching on June 1st. The training roadmap is going to literally be step by step, and it's going to be great because we're now able to say, like, okay, step number one, and this will be great for all agents, even some of our vets who's been with us for 7 years, and we also have new agents who've just signed up recently in the last few weeks. This will be great because it's definitely going to be more of a roadmap. It'll be like step one, you know, do your VAC certification. Step two, go to Ensemble and upload your profile. Like it's literally going to be step by step, like that. That way we can kind of also track what your progression is, right? And we're going to also do a lot of marketing things on there, which again, it's step by step. And then because we have so many people who are interested in cruises, which I'm loving because we've never been a cruise agency until like recently. We have a lot of agents who are selling cruises. We're going to also once you do the 5 basic steps on the roadmap, it then branches off into if you want to go to the cruise route, if you want to do the destination wedding or group route, or if you want, we're going to kind of branch it off so we can give you guys step by step instructions on how to do your trainings, and a lot of marketing stuff will be in there as well. So because we're doing that, we kind of wanted to take it back down to the basics. So I asked Phil to do a presentation for us about just how to get started just to sell travel. And I think a lot of the tips, this should be a short training, but you guys know me. Phil told me this should be 20 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it on the 30. But we just wanted to, again, now that we're relaunching and we're just doing things really, really differently, and because we specialize in new agents, we want to do even more of a hand-holding approach, more than we've been doing in the past. So this training is kind of like a kickoff with that too, where we're telling you how to start. And just to start, we talk a lot about social media, and I'm always telling you guys to go out and, join the chambers and do all of this stuff. But like, what is the step before that, right? The step before that is to market to your brand new travel agency, or if you've been at this for a while, to your friends and family. And we wanted to give you guys some tips on how you can do that. Here I go on a tangent again. My first well, my career as a travel agent is a little bit different because I was doing group trips for 5 years before I became a travel agent. But when I launched my business, as I'm doing this full time, I'm just going to jump out the window. My first official booking that wasn't a group booking was actually a girlfriend who was going to Atlantic City, and my second booking was for Phil and and his best friend, who um they went to, was it the Milia in NASA? Don't quote me on that. It's been 10 years. So that was like I was reaching out to everybody I know, before I started doing, of course, the chamber stuff and the, YouTube things and all of that stuff. So I'm hoping if you are struggling to get clients that you can get some tips out of tonight's presentation. So let me just make sure that there's no one in the waiting room. Okay, perfect. And everyone should be able to see my screen, I think. So hopefully you guys are able to see it. Let's see if I could do, sorry. And again, this is Phil's presentation, not mine. So let's see if I could close this and maybe reopen it. Oh, I don't know. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know how to make this larger, but hopefully you are able to see it. Okay, so I really do not know how to use his computer. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. I was trying to make it into a slideshow, but I'm not really sure how to do that on here. So, oh, someone else is coming in. Perfect timing. Nope. So we're just going to jump right in. Let's quit preview. Oops. Sorry about that. Let's see if this would work. Nope, didn't work. Okay, let's just jump right in. Okay, so again, we're going to explore how to tap into the trust and connection within your circle to kickstart your travel business venture. And again, this is the most common question we have from new agents and from people who are thinking about becoming a travel agent is, how do I get clients, right? And like I said before, I know some people just joined us. For me, yes, I was doing group trips before I became a travel agent. But when I decided to become a full-time agent, the first thing I did was reach out to family and friends. So the question is, why start with family and friends? Your inner circle knows you, trusts you, and will most likely believe in you. Hopefully. They're not just potential clients, they're your first supporters, advocate, and cheerleaders. Starting here, building a foundation of trust, confidence, and momentum that propels your business forward. So, trust is already built with family and friends. And when we say family and friends, this can also mean, work colleagues as well. So, you're not going to be a total stranger to your family and friends, obviously, right? So it's easier to convince them to book with you or to use your business than it would be to convince strangers. So easier to gain your first booking and testimonials. Again, my first booking ever was a girlfriend of mine just going to Atlantic City. For you guys who don't know, I'm here in New York. So is she. Like it was literally like she was going for a conference for 2 nights. And I just told her, I was like, oh, I'm a travel agent. If you ever need help, I don't charge a fee. This is when I didn't charge a fee. I don't charge a fee. Just let me know. But I was telling that to everyone. And she was like, oh yeah, I have a trip, coming up. I would love for you to just price check it. And the price was obviously the same, and she ended up booking with me. That was my first FIT booking. And then a few weeks later, I booked Phil and his friend Damani when they were going to Nassau for the same. And Phil and I at that time were just dating. So of course I reached out to him as well, like, hey, send this out to anyone like I'm now doing this full time. So it's easier to get in your first bookings and testimonials with friends and family. Word of mouth spreads faster in your circle, of course, and it builds your confidence and momentum. So some do's and don'ts when you are approaching your friends and family about your new travel business, you definitely want to take your time with it, right? So you want to share your passion and the opportunity without overstepping boundaries. So we're going to explore some best practices to ensure your outreach is both effective and respectful. This so sounds like Phil. Okay. So you always want to be authentic and not salesy. So I always say this, and you guys will always hear me say this, even on social media. I am never salesy. Just in general. I feel like I do see a lot of travel agents who they'll continuously like push, like book now, book now. And honestly, it does work for some people, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, this is happening, book with me now. But for me, even today when I go out, and I'm telling people about my business, because you should always tell people what you do. And it's my elevator pitch, right? So I'm always like, well, I'm a travel advisor. If you ever need help booking anything, or you just want to run some numbers, or you need help with anything, here's my card. You can let me know. That's it. That is my biggest pitch. And of course, if I start talking about travel, I get very passionate. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to Portugal and I'm doing this and that. Oh, you've never been to Portugal? Okay, girl, you have to call me when you're ready to like book Europe. Here's my number. If you just ever want, any recommendations, anything like that, here's my card. You can always call me. That's as salesy as I get, where it's more like I want to just help you, right? And it's not going to cost you anything, as opposed to book with me now. Hey, hey, like that. That could turn people off. So you want to always be authentic, professional, and enthusiastic. If you're not enthusiastic about travel and about your own business, no one else will as well, right? So you want to share your business story with people, let them know why you started. For me, I always, I started because I was doing women group trips and I loved it. And I didn't at the time, I was running a boutique here on Long Island. I didn't love it. And I just made the decision like I'm getting older. I want to do something that I love. And I would love to be able to do these group trips full time. And that's how I became a travel agent. So it's really good when you always let people know like why you started. A lot of time, I know Mel is on here. Mel was already doing group trips um, for a long time before she became a travel advisor, right? So for some people, it's a natural transition. We have a lot of agents who were the ones already booking the trips for family and friends. So people already kind of knew that's what they did, and they would give advice to people for free. So it's just an easy transition into saying, you know what? This is what I'm doing now. I'm so excited. You guys know I love traveling. I'm always the one doing the family reunion or anything like that. And if people, again, um, know that like that is your passion and this is why you're starting a business, then they're more encouraged to actually support you. Something you also want to do is offer value. So special deals, insider tips. Where I am now is completely different than where I was 10 years ago when I started, right? So my biggest thing now, I'm always preaching to you guys, charge fees, charge fees. Sometimes you don't listen to me, okay? When you're just starting out, my biggest thing to get clients for the first year was, listen, I can help you if you have a trip, I can help you and it's not going to cost you anything, right? So I do think that when you are first starting out and you're getting your feet wet and trying to get clients and you don't have any reviews, you don't have any photos, that is such a great like sales pitch where it's like, listen, you have nothing to lose from me helping you book your trip. I could check the prices for you. I could see if I could get you a better deal, a better value, or you know what? The value could just be if even if the hotel or the cruise is the same price, if something goes wrong, I'm always there for you I'm the one staying on the phone for 2 hours with the flight company, right? You always want to tell people what your value is. And honestly, once you say it enough, it's kind of crazy when you think like, why wouldn't someone want to use me? I'm telling you, I'm not charging you a fee. I'm telling you the price is exactly the same. And I would just love to help you. And there's so much value from me helping you, right? So that is something you definitely want to do. Now, once you've had some experience under your belt, or 10 years of experience under your belt, like myself, then you can charge fees. Please do not wait 10 years. I want you guys all to charge fees, obviously, but in your first year or two when you're just getting started, it's very important for you to build up your reviews, photos, and just, get your feet wet. And that is going to, um, again, be a good thing if you're not charging fees right out the bat, right? So you don't want to sound pushy or salesy. That's like a turnoff for a lot of people. I It's a turn off for me personally when someone's just like, "Oh my gosh, you should buy this, you should buy this." It's like, "Oh, like convince me that I want it and me not even knowing that you're trying to sell me something." That's the best way to sell me something where you're like, "Oh my gosh, like yes, oh, this bed is the softest bed ever. Like you will have this for 50 years. Yes, it's $5,000, but honestly, you'll never have to buy a bed again." And if you have like that's how you sell people, right? As opposed to, oh yeah, no, you have to buy it now. And kind of like those timeshare people that are always just salesy and pressure. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to spam their inboxes or social feed. I think the best thing for social media, one, again, people should always know what you're doing. And a lot of times when we speak to agents who say that they're struggling with marketing, I'm always like, well, or if they're trying to sell a group trip, myself included, I'm like, how often have you been sending it out? Right? So a lot of times people are not even. I don't even think like spamming inboxes is as bad as not even letting people know that you have a business or you have a group trip, right? So I think it's very important to find that thin line where you could say, or announce it like, hey everyone, and maybe not like this, but I am now, it could be you having lunch with a BDM. I'm so excited about this new venture I'm taking. I am here with my sandals rep, just learning all I can about this great I'm thinking off the top of my head, this great brand. Would love to share some exciting news. If you guys are ever interested in sandals, definitely let me know. I would love to help you. Right? Those are some things that should be happening all the time. So I think a great social media strategy would be to kind of not so much having just a business page. I obviously have a business page, but I think like when people come on my page, well, now it's weddings, but my whole thing was I need to let people know what I do all the time. And I feel like if you have to make people know that you have a new passion, a new business, but you also, again, you want to walk that fine line where like every post you're posting shouldn't be like, okay, I'm a travel agent. I'm a travel agent. You can say that by doing other stuff. Like again, you're now hosting a group trip. Hey, if you guys, having a great time here in I don't know, in England. I'm having a wonderful time. I have a cruise coming up in the fall. Would love for you to join me. Again, while you're also posting stuff, so it's not so spammy. Just always letting people know what you do without being so salesy, if that makes sense. And one thing you don't want to do is undervalue your service. I think a lot of times I don't get this as much now, but when I first started out, people would say, like, why would I book with a travel agent? Right. And for me, that was an instant like cue to like just throw out my value and not so much saying, like, oh, I never tell people, even when I first started, that it's going to be the cheapest. Right. I would say, absolutely, there's still travel agents here. I'm here to, help make your dream trip come true, right? I'm the one who's helping you put it together. If you don't know where you want to go, I can help you find the right place. And God forbid something happen, I'm the one that's going to take care of it, right? So, or I have partners in different countries that can assist you as well. So you always want to, when you're talking about not just your own business, but the travel industry and being a travel advisor on a whole, what the values are, and not just like, oh yeah, I'm just a travel agent. Like, no, it's like this is the stuff that I can do for you. And I think it is a shift in mindset when once you start thinking about like instead of I need to find clients, I need to find clients, I need to find clients, and it's going to be the cheapest people and all of this stuff. It's more like, no, like I know my stuff, right? I know cruises, I know weddings, I know, Disney. Like you have to let people know, like I'm an expert and this is the value that I bring. And now when you're just starting out, and I don't charge a fee. So you're crazy not to use me, right? Because I'm a Disney specialist and I've been to Disney 100 times. And, you know, I've taken my kids to Disney a million times. Like, I'm a specialist. I can let you know what hotels to stay at, what activities are happening that the average person don't know, right? So you always want to sell those values to people when you're talking about your business or just again on social media. Just there are, like I said before, there are ways to let people know also what you're doing without always being very salesy and okay, we get it, you're a travel agent, right? Like it could be you at Disney if you're specializing in Disney with your kids and a small caption saying, I love Disney so much. If you ever need help with, you know, your next Disney trip, let me know. And that's really all it can be or should be. So some good strategies. Now that you have identified your inner circle as your first audience, so these people should be the first group of people that you're thinking of reaching out to when you are a new travel agent, right? And again, a lot of times we're focused on social media and, you know, getting millionaires and all of this stuff. Before you do that, right? You want to identify a couple of people who are in your inner circle and review some do and don'ts. And once you review the do and don'ts, it's time to engage them in a way that's authentic and inviting. So, building on trust that you've established, again, it's your family, friends, coworkers. There should be a level of trust naturally there. Let's explore strategies to share your passion for travel and your new business with those who know you best. This is so Phil, because he does talk like that. Okay, so call, text, and email. So start with a personal call, text, or email. Hey, cuz, I want to share some exciting news with you. I officially launched my travel business, blah, blah, blah. Phil does this for me too with his friends and family. And he'll say like, oh, hey guys, you know, or hey cuz, if it's a cousin, Sam's doing this cruise. Here's the flyer. Would love if you guys can join us, blah, blah, blah. So that's another thing too. You can have your friends and family also be your salespeople. Well, if they don't want to travel with you, hey, do you mind sharing my flyer or my website with your network as well? Um, you can again post on social media pages. So use social media to showcase trips, testimonials, and your passion for travel. Post photos of you traveling, living your best life. Share testimonials from happy clients. And again, I remembered I actually my first client, my girlfriend, I didn't share. She didn't leave a review or anything like that. I was just happy. And guys, I remembered I booked this on Expedia. This was even before we were using Vax. I booked it on Expedia for her, and I think I made $35. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I've made my first booking. Like I'm legitimate now. And then I think I booked Phil and his friend Amani in Vax. And I think I made like $100 on that. And you couldn't tell me anything. So again, you know, and Phil actually did, he was my boyfriend at the time, but he did like a Yelp review, he did like a Google review, he sent me pictures. So again, you know, he was my client, you know, so it wasn't again like this was not the truth. I did book him a trip. I did ask him and his friend, now can you guys send me some photos? Can you write a review for me? And my husband was my first reviewer. And he was my second non-group trip ever. So yes, once you have your first clients traveling, um, please use them as social proof that now, yes, I told you guys I have a travel business. You know, these are my clients. Look at them in Thailand having a great time. You know, hey, if you ever want to go to Thailand, I love it there. I would love to help you guys plan your trip as well. That's what that is. Or if you follow me on social media, I do it a lot more now with weddings, but you guys will always see like when someone leaves me a review on the Knot or Wedding Wire, I always post it in my stories. And I'll save it because again, it's social proof, right? Like that I have a whole legitimate wedding business. I'm doing weddings actively. Um, and just putting it out there so people can know, like, listen, I'm not just saying like I'm a travel agent or I'm a wedding coordinator. Like I actually am doing this and here is the proof. Um, so something else that is really cool to do, and when I used to be a BDM, I used to tell people this all the time. I know some of you guys who are on this call are new, and this is where you want to utilize your business development managers. Um, your BDMs have money. They have money that they can host um, in-person events um, for you. So, like, if you ever want to do something at a restaurant or anything like that, but let's say you don't have the network to even get 10 or 15 or 20 people in a restaurant, right? So that your BDM can host that and pay for it. Something else you could do is just host a regular travel night, either in person with your friends and family, and it can also be over Zoom. I like in-person things just because, again, it could be like an informal business launch. Like, hey, guys, come over. It's Sunday. I want to do something at home. I just want to host this thing to tell you guys about my new business, right? So you could do a casual events with snacks, drinks, and then open conversation about some of the favorite places to vacation or places you or they would like to visit in a coming year. Offer to help your family and friends plan annual family trips or reunion. As you guys may know, groups are great because if you have a group of 30 people, now those are also um, potential clients that can be clients for individual trips. A lot of times when I do groups or weddings, a lot of people will come back to me to do other trips. So like I had a wedding, I have a bride now that I'm currently working with that I booked her wedding and now she's doing retreats. I feel like I've told some of you guys about this before, maybe on a Q&A, but she was using another travel agent for retreats and she just absolutely didn't like the experience. And she came back to me because in her head, I did weddings, right? But she came back to me and she was like, Sam, I want to do 2 group trips next year. So I'm booking her I've already booked her DR trip for next March, and she's doing Bali next November. And again, she's coming back because I booked her wedding. But I've gotten like, I'm doing a retreat next month here on Long Island for a bride who her boss is a guest at her wedding, was a guest at her wedding, who reached out to me to say, "Hey, I want to do a corporate retreat for my for like I think it's 10 of yes, 10. It's 10 of her clients. So I got a whole retreat from just a destination wedding guest. So again, if you can get into planning, if your family or, even someone they know is doing like or does a family reunion every year, that could be something too that you could say, well, you know what? I could do that. We go every 2 years, we do a cruise or something like that. How about if you guys, how about I do it this year? Because you guys know I'm doing a travel business. I would love to do the family cruise. Plus, I'll see if I'm able to get, additional perks and stuff for us because now I'm a travel agent. You can't guarantee it, but a lot of times we do, right? So this is a great way to now get a group, maybe even your first group. And from there, your friends, your family, everyone will see like, oh, okay, they know what they're doing and may now be more comfortable with you booking their individual trip as well. So remember, you're not just selling trips, you're creating experiences. Start with those who you know and trust you. You want to be authentic, be passionate, be visible, and the booking will 100% follow. Again, people just have to know you have a business. And when you're just starting out, or if you're struggling, start with your inner circle. I don't know, some of you know Jessica. Jessica is Jessica sells so much. Sandals. And Jessica's a hairstylist. I don't think she's ever on Monday night, but literally she sells just from her chair. As a hairstylist, she tell people what she does, and it's her clients just having regular conversation, and that's all she books. And if you guys are familiar with Sandal and Beaches, it's not. I don't want to say it's not an easy product to sell, but it's so expensive, right? And she's selling like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sandals every year and making a lot of money from it just by, and she posts on social media, of course. She takes her family to beaches, so she'll post that. So her social media is also a great combination of like promotion, but also like I'm traveling there, I'm traveling with my kids to beaches, blah blah blah. Let me know. So again, it's not necessarily about reaching strangers, right? You can definitely reach people at work. If you work in a hospital, you can let, your coworkers know, like, hey, I have a travel business now. If you guys ever need help, or, anything, just let me know. And I would love to just book it for you or price match it for you or just see if I could help you in any way. Right. And then that's a whole group of people you're getting. Or you can also, I should say, and not even or, and what you can do is what I do sometimes, where I reach out to Phil or to other friends and say, hey guys, can you just send this flyer out to anyone who you think may be interested in doing it? I haven't been doing that a lot lately just because I've been a little bit busy and we're not doing as many group trips. But when I was at the point doing 10 to 15 group trips a year, because that's how much I was doing at one point, I was sending out those flyers to everybody because I'm like, oh, this is a lot of trip that needs to be filled. So, hey, hon, if you know someone who wants to go to Bali, can you send this to them? So start again with your circle because it does feel a lot like when you're just starting out, like, oh my gosh, where do I even go from here? My mom, my mom to this day, my mom and my mother-in-law both will send me people. First of all, it is not my clientele they send me because these are not my clientele. But I love the fact that they still do that, where it's like, "Oh, Sam, someone wants to go to Jamaica and they need flights." And I'm like, "Thanks, mom, of course." But again, they're used to it because I'm like, "Oh, let me know if anybody, need help," right? And we know that with flights, that there's no commission. And then if it's your mom's friend, she's looking for the cheapest price and all of that stuff. But my family is now so used to, or was so used to me just reaching out to them and saying, hey, if you know anybody who needs help, just send them my way. That's it. That was my wholesale pitch. Just send them my way. So, um, that is the presentation from Mr. Philip Hammond done by me. So, Agents Adjusted Ventures, and he spelled our name wrong. See, man, we believe in empowering you with the right tools to succeed. Whether you're just starting out and looking to elevate your travel business or curating resources. Our curated resources are designed to streamline your marketing efforts and enhance your professional growth. We're launching a brand new service that will help you build your brand and connect with new customers. So, as you guys know, Phil's been on with us for almost a year now. He has, for the new agents on here, he has his own marketing company, and he's also now full time with Just Adventures. So he is accessible to you guys. So please, if you're having a hard time marketing your business, please set up a one-on-one call. It is free for you to sit with him, talk with him, get ideas. Again, Phil runs his own marketing company. I don't know if you guys follow me or him on social media, but he shoots videos. Today, he is at Adelphi University, doing some marketing stuff for them. So that's why he's not doing this, because he's running overtime. So he literally is all like, Adelphi is a client of his, right? But he's accessible to you guys for absolutely free. So always feel free to reach out to him. I'm also going to have him do each quarter a marketing, a different type of marketing presentation for you guys as well. But in the meantime, like I said, if you're struggling with gaining clients, please reach out to him and he can always help you. So he told me to keep it at 20 minutes. It's going on 40. But again, you guys know me. I tend to talk a lot on Monday nights. But I wanted to open it up to see if anyone had any questions about this presentation whatsoever. Like, have anyone tried reaching out to their friends and family, or is this something that you haven't tried yet in your business, but you're thinking about doing? And you can please feel free to unmute yourself. But if you don't have anything to say, that's okay as well. No? All
Hi,
right.
Samantha. Hey, Sam. We're
Yes.
going at the same time. This
Yes.
is Mika. I've been with you guys for about a little bit over a year now, and I
Hi, Miko.
think I've
How are
only,
you,
how
darling?
are you? I'm good. So I've only booked two trips,
Mm-hmm.
one of which was my honeymoon, um, just to kind of get a feel for the system. But I have reached out to like friends and family, and they just it's hard breaking down the exterior with them because they don't see the value in a travel agent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to get past that. Now I just got a lead from my sister last week because someone wants to go to Paris and I had actually been to Paris and kind of did that myself. So
Right.
she's like, "Yeah, so I'm trying to follow up with the young lady, but I haven't gotten any response like, hey, this is a place that I've been to. I can kind of walk you through everything." But I'm just having a hard time with people finding value in me because they're like, oh, well, I can find it through Expedia or I can go with Booking. Like, there's so many other ways that people are finding these things. I don't know how to counter that.
Oh my gosh, so that's perfect. So one of the things is, and I think like I kind of mentioned it, and for you for honeymoon, here we go. I always get off on a tangent. I'm not keeping you guys until like 8:30. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. But side note, Mika, the reason why I do many weddings is because I promoted my wedding, right? So just something for you to think about. So yes, we do want you to reach out to friends and family, but if honeymoons are something that you're interested in doing too, just want to put it out there that you can use your own honeymoon as promotion for for your business as well, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. I posted my wedding video like on YouTube and then I talked about it. And I get 100% of my weddings from YouTube because I posted my personal wedding on there. I've done weddings before that, but that's where like all of my leads come from. So I'm just saying that like the fact that you've done your own honeymoon as well can be a marketing tool, right? Um,
I never even thought about that. So
that's how,
as
girl, that's how,
simple as that sounds, I never thought about that. So
yeah, and that's why I do so many Iberistar because that's where I got married. So when people come to me, they're like, where did you get married? And I'm like, Iberistar. We literally do, I want to say out of 10 to 15 weddings, we only did 10 this year because I'm slowing down, but let's say 15 weddings a year, I want to say half of those are always Iberistar because that's where I got married. That's where the video that I posted, right?
hmm
So I just wanted to tell you that because you just said, you booked your honeymoon. Like that's a whole marketing thing in itself, right? But for friends and family, what I did that worked for me. I was just like, if they're like, oh, I could just book it on Expedia, I would just say, oh, absolutely. And when you do, let me see if I could get a better rate for you. But just know as well that, listen, if something goes wrong, if your flight's delayed, Expedia is not calling the hotel, but I will.
hmm
Right. So that's
Okay.
where the values come in, right? If you have transportation and let's say they booked flight and hotel in Expedia, Expedia is a platform that I use a lot myself as a travel agent. But if your flights are delayed, it's not connected, right? So
Mhm.
the transportation system, who's calling Mexico to speak to Amstar, right?
Right. Okay.
Who's if now with Newark, you guys see what's happening with Newark, all the flights are delayed. Who's pushing those hotels back? So it's not trying to convince people like you should use me. It's always throwing in your value. Like absolutely, it's not, I'm not going to be the cheapest. I'm never going to be the cheapest. I tell people to this day, and that was one thing I started out with saying, you know what, I'll definitely see if I can match it, but it's value, right? Even if I
Mhm.
match the price, just know that I'm going to also service it. So if something happens, God forbid, I'm going to be the one to make sure you're okay. And Expedia is not going to care, right? And if the price is the same, like why wouldn't you book with me?
Mhm.
So I would literally tell people that. I was like, if the price is the same, why wouldn't you book with me? Because I am going to also put in requests for you, to get an upgrade. Not guaranteed, because you don't want to guarantee people anything. But
Mhm.
it's that conversation where you're kind of schooling them. But I think it's understanding your value first, right? Because I think
Okay.
with us as travel agents, when we're first starting out, I don't want to say it's a desperation, but it kind of is like you just want business, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, like people are saying like they find it cheaper on Expedia. Like, yes, you will find it cheaper, but let me see if I could find the same price for you. And if something, goes wrong, I can be there to take care of it. And I can also put in requests for you for an upgrade or, anything like that. I'm basically working for you for free. And it's not going to cost you nothing to book with me.
Mhm.
I think when you have that conversation, like say, your sister's doing a girl trip, like, hey, where are you guys going? Oh, can I see if I can find, a better price for you or a better hotel or can I price match that? And know that like, I'll try to put in like a special request for you guys or something. And it's not going to cost you nothing. Now you just
Right.
like me if you're not going to do
I bet you don't like
it.
it at this point then.
Because it's not costing you nothing, right? But we have to know what our values are as well. So
Okay.
we do want you to reach out to friends and family. And this is a starting point. This is not the end. Let's say you decided, Mika, you wanted to do like, you now want to just do honeymoons, right? Because
Mhm.
you love it. Let's just say you just have a flyer, like this flyer of Phil right here, where he's like, Phil Hammond, honeymoon specialist, right? Where you could say, okay, no problem. Can you send my flyer out to anybody you know? Because maybe you don't need my service, but maybe somebody you
Mhm.
know will. And I mean, she's already giving you referrals,
Right.
right? And it could even be like, listen, honestly, if you give me some referrals, I'll give you a little percentage. Again, you're running a business, so you can
Mhm.
now have different conversations with people, right? And everyone's not going to be your client, but what you can ask them for is, hey, can you send this out for me?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that could be it. Like, and she's doing that. She literally just gave you a lead. And then you could say, like, hey, you know what? I know that the girl didn't answer back, but I love the fact that you did that. Um, if you keep sending, say it better than this, but like if you send me any more leads and it goes through, I will definitely, I'll have like a little referral fee for you.
Okay.
Because I have paid people in the past. Yes, I have. So there's a lot of marketing things that you can try as well, but you have to just try it.
Okay. I'm gonna book some time with Deb and both Phil because Deb sent me an email like we can get you. So I
Yeah.
will do it. I will do it.
And even with Honey, like I said, this new roadmap we're going to have, it will have different like paths, right? And we just want to make this as easy as possible. And sometimes you're like, oh, that's easy. I didn't think about it. But sometimes you need to hear other people say it
Mhm.
to be like, oh yeah, I did do my own honeymoon, right? Like, why am I not looking into being a honeymoon specialist or saying, hey, Deb, how do I, you know, if this is the route I want to go, like, how do I do it? Or Phil, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's why they're here to kind of walk you guys, and myself included, to walk you through everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. Okay, someone else had was that Penny?
Yes, hi Samantha. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
I'm good. Very tired right now. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just have to warn you when I get on, everybody knows I talk a little bit. So just give you the heads
I
up on Monday nights when I do Q&As, which is like once or twice a month. I do talk a little bit, so you know.
Well, after the 28th, I'll be home for 6 months, so I can listen to you all night long. I'm gonna
Okay,
be
good.
home. I'm having rotator cuff surgery.
Oh no, well that's not good, but
No.
oh
So
god.
I'll be definitely so lately I've been um so I work at I'm phlebotomy.
Okay.
So I draw people's blood. So at work, I've been telling people, oh yeah, I've been training in travel agent and I'm almost done. And they're like, oh, what do you want to what area do you want to learn in? And I said, well, I've been learning Alaska a lot.
Okay.
So that's one big thing that I've been learning. And so I've been trying to promote myself with them at work and things like that. And some people would say, oh, well, when you get a card or anything, let me know. So or when you pass or you get started in it, let me know, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, definitely. So I recently got and I just watched all the trainings
Okay. And I
from
think
you.
we told you like that's like going to be completely, you joined at a weird time and someone else just joined today too, and I'm like it's such a transitional time because
Right.
you will see the old stuff, but the new stuff you're going to love. You're definitely going to love the more hand holding direction that we're going in. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I watched all your six webinars.
Yes.
I just finished them over the weekend. So anyway, I watched them and honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna go with another company, but I didn't like how they were. And like you were just talking today, like I felt like there was way more trainings and testing and everything doesn't they and they didn't get you like just jumpstart you, right? So I kind of liked yours better. So I says, you know what, I'm gonna go with Just Adventures. I'm like, I like how they operate and everything. So once I started, I actually went online and I ordered business cards
Yes.
and I started handing them out today. I only have till the 28th to hand these cards out with people at work. And I,
Mhm.
I must have gave 8 of them out today.
Yeah, and it's something so simple, right? And I
Right.
remember like when I was because I was a business development manager for a year as well, and I remembered going to events and asking people like travel agents for their business card, and you would be surprised how many people don't have business cards. And I'm like, I don't think a lot of hosts, because I'm still a working agent, Deborah's still a working agent. Phil is not. Phil just does marketing, but Jasmine, who is my full-time assistant now, is a working agent. Like
Mhm.
we we operate and we see like how to run a business. And I think like a lot of hosts, they're so like concerned about like supplier training, supply. That's what we didn't want to do, right? We
Yeah,
didn't want to go that route where we were just forcing suppliers because we're like sell, sell, sell. But in order for you to sell, we need you to actually have a business if that's the route you want to go. Because we do have some agents here who are doing it as a hobby, and that's fine. But it's like if you had any other business, you would need business cards. You would need
exactly.
a website, and people don't talk about this stuff. And that's why, too, we tried to drum this stuff down. Like, I know it's so basic. It's so
Right.
basic to reach out to your friends and family, but sometimes you
My
just have
friends
to
and
hear it.
family are cheap.
Oh, girl, not as cheap as mine. Not
Oh
as
no. Oh no. They are cheap. They won't even like I have a Facebook page that I just started and they won't even add themselves to the Facebook page because they don't want to see what I have to offer.
Oh
Like
man.
legitly, like they are cheap.
No, and that's one thing I had to learn too. you know, like I said, my first client outside of the group space was my girlfriend, and then it was Phil. But like one thing I had to learn fast was that my clients and someone who does weddings, and like Mika, I started out wanting to only do weddings and honeymoon. Like honeymoon is my jam. Like I love to do a honeymoon. And that means you need to know people who are getting married all the time. So I had to get into the headspace like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. These people are not my clients. However, I can
Right.
always still ask them to send out stuff. I could always still ask my mom, who's the cheapest person that I know, like, hey mom, you know, if anybody you know needs a flights or hotel, just, mention it to me. Because again, my mom is Jamaican and she has a lot of people who go back and forth. So sometimes it's that, right? Where it's like,
Mm.
okay, maybe you're not my client, but maybe you can send out to your network and maybe
Right.
I can get a client from that. Because that's a different conversation too. Like instead of, oh, let me book your trip. Okay, completely understand if you guys don't want to book with me, but do you mind sending this flyer out for me? Do you mind sending out my website? And then what are they
Right.
gonna say? No? Like, oh, so you're just not trying to support me at all, right? I'm not asking you to pay $3,000. I'm saying for your own network, you may know 10 people
Right.
that you could probably send out my website to. And maybe one of those people will book with me. Who knows? But I think it's just the act of asking that sometimes we're not comfortable doing, but it's easier to ask people you know than strangers, right?
Right.
And now I
Right.
I, I ask strangers. I'll go into a room full of things, and when I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, if you know anyone who needs help, here's my card. It's not even you now, right? It's not even if you want to book something. It's if you or anyone you know need help booking a trip, here's my card. Definitely let me know. I
I
would
did
love.
that today.
It's the best like talking point. You're a business card.
Right. I did that today, and my business card is actually on my phone right now. So they were taking pictures on my phone of
Yeah,
my phone,
you
and I'm
sound
like,
like
here's my
Phil.
QR code, here's my business card, and I'm like, so what I'm doing solo travel
Hmm.
um for women
Okay.
and LGBT.
Hmm.
And so I tell people this is what my niche is, but I'm not limited to it.
Yeah.
So I have to tell them that, otherwise they're gonna think, oh well, she's only doing to this. So I make sure that I tell people that, but at the same time, I'm not sure how to how do you I'm looking at all these other sites that do solo travel. Now
Hmm.
this is the marketing part. How do I market that and I don't know how to put it together. Would I know I have a meeting with Deb on Thursday
Yep.
after work, but is she the best person to talk about that,
Oh,
or is Phil the
absolutely. So Phil is all marketing. So Phil is going, I use both of them. They're at your discretion, right? So Deb is going to walk you through like how to put the trips together, but
Mhm,
Phil is going to give you marketing ideas. And my
okay.
2 cents also, one, Phil loves those QR cards. I hate them. I love actual business cards. So I would just recommend, especially once you start going to like dinners with people
Well,
or
it's an actual business card, but it has a QR code on the back.
oh, so it's not like the virtual one that like people have
Oh
to.
no.
Okay,
Oh
good.
no, it's gonna be an actual card once I get it from Vistaprint.
Oh
They'll
my
make
gosh.
one two-sided. They actually make one two-sided, and I just found this out yesterday because I messed up on it and I had to call them and I'm like, I think the back was supposed to have something and I didn't. Am I supposed to put something on the back? Because I left it white. And they're like, oh yeah, well, we can fix that for you. We can put like a QR code on the back of it for you
Oh,
for your
that
Facebook page. And I
that would
said,
be amazing.
yes. So you can do both. Vistaprint does it. It's only like for 250, it's only like $50.
Yeah, you cannot beat that.
So
What I
that's cheap.
That's very cheap. What I thought you were gonna do, you were saying was that you had those virtual cards. I hate virtual cards.
Oh,
I
no, so I ended up taking a picture, I ended up sharing and copying everything that was on Vistaprint that they had sent me in my
Mhm.
email. I put it on my phone because I don't have the cards yet. So I'm
Right.
giving everybody, I'm like, if you want the QR code, I can give it to you too. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. And so since I did that today, so yesterday I had 19 people on my Facebook page. Today I
Mhm.
have 23.
Look at that.
So just from giving this out because people were doing that. So yeah, but I just don't know how to market it anymore. And that's where my
So my
Facebook page is very lame.
my 2 cents. So on your Facebook page, you should, especially if you have, again, that's a perfect. There's a guy who I was on the board. I just finished up a thing for ALG. I was on the board, and there's a guy who sells millions and millions and millions of dollars for ALG every year, and he doesn't have a website. He literally does it from Facebook. And every time we meet, we always just laugh because I'm like, yo, how do you do that? He's like, all my clients are on Facebook. And he's like, why do I need a website? Right. So you can, I love websites. I do think you should have a website. But again, there's some
That's how
fundamental.
I'm starting it right now from Facebook.
Yes, and that's a great start because even with that now, you can be posting if you do have clients traveling, if you do have reviews on there or yourself, where it's like, hi guys, welcome to my page. This is a little bit about me. And you can post like, your favorite place for solo. For solo traveling. What I would do on my business card though, I wouldn't put so much. On my card, it just says Samantha Hammond, luxury travel advisor, right?
Okay.
I don't put that I do weddings or that's my specialty because I'm in a lot of different type of rooms and there's potential for a lot of different type of people. And it's the same thing you're saying. I don't want people to think like, oh, she only does weddings. Right? Even some of my clients think that, like, oh, you only do weddings. I'm like, no, you want a cruise? I could book a cruise too. So on my card, but when they go to your Facebook or where you can explain your services a little bit more, a website, I think you can put your specialty there. But if you're looking to just open up and you just want to kind of grab just work for now, I would just put something like luxury travel advisor or inclusive travel or something like that where it's like but it's not so like
Mm.
niche down that someone may say, oh, she only works with the LGBT, community. She won't work with me, right? Because people think like that. So
Well, that's what I did on the Facebook page. I said, even although and I did an AI to like make it sound really good. So
Mhm.
I said, and it's not the exact wording, but I'm just going to say it. So I said, even though my niche is this, I am not limited to anybody that would like to travel. Please call me or
And see, but you
contact
could
me.
do that on your
So I
website.
did that. I
Yes.
did that. Yeah. And so when
So
I hand the card out, I do let them know that
yeah,
just
so
in
that would be
case.
my one recommendation because I'm like, you can explain yourself on your website or on your Facebook page, but again, I, again, you could take it with a grain of salt. I would just think like if I saw a card and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm looking for someone to do a wedding and this is not the person, right? As opposed
Okay.
to this person is a travel advisor, and now when I go to your website, I could see that it is you specialize in solo, but now you can kind of explain it. And when I'm doing my research on you on your website or your social media, I can see like, oh, okay, yeah, she works with everyone. And you could even put other services if you want, like group trips, weddings, whatever. But I feel like the card is kind of like your first impression. And if you're too niche down, which is not a bad thing, because if that's the only type of client you're looking for, then that's one thing. Like I used to have like destination wedding specialists on my card, and I'm like, why are people not hitting me up? Or if I'm going to like, I want
Okay.
corporate clients too, like, but my thing says destination wedding, like so
Yeah.
like a year or two ago, I just put plain black and white card, just my name, luxury travel advisor, and my cell phone number. That is all that's on my card. And I feel like now I can kind of, in any situation, give out that card and it will be appropriate. Just the 2 cents for you to consider.
Okay.
But yes, the
Well, I
foundation.
already have the cards made up, so I can't really do much with that,
No,
but
but you're gonna order some more, right? So
yeah,
it
yeah.
may be some, or I could be completely wrong and it can work perfect how it's supposed to. But if it's not, your business, you should always be like we are. We've been a host for 7 years and we're always thinking about better ways to serve you guys or things to change. So you're always going to look to change your websites and your
Okay.
business cards and things like that. Just something to keep in mind.
No, it's
Um,
food for thought. Thank you.
But yeah, so Deborah, once you speak with Deb, definitely set up an appointment with Phil as well. And then he can help you with any marketing questions you have.
Okay, and my other quick question, I know it's off this whole topic. Did you find out anything from Uncruise Adventures?
Deborah is taking care of all of that. I spoke to her
Okay,
today because she's actually in Cancun. I think Deb's in Cancun.
nice.
I didn't even remember she was traveling. And I think she contacted them. I just have to sign the paperwork, but she's finding out like the details that we need, the tax, because as a host, we have to send in a lot of stuff. So she's taking care of that stuff. So when you speak to her on Thursday, she should have that answer for you as well.
Okay, yeah, because I already took the whole class from them and I passed the class, but I couldn't put any of the information in because I wasn't with you guys yet.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, she's working on all of this because when I checked in with her today, she was talking about that. And I asked her if they just sent over the paperwork I needed to sign yet, and she said no. So
Okay,
by Thursday,
okay.
and I think we had some other requests as well. It wasn't just that she's working on to get more
Oh, that's fine.
suppliers for you guys.
Okay, great. I don't want to keep everybody, so I know it's late.
All right, darling. Does anyone else have any other questions or thought just about again reaching out to friends or family or have tried it but it didn't work?
I do have a question. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I did talk to your hubby Phil back in February about a website. Well, we spoke about everything, but then I told him I was interested in a website.
Yes.
And then I've reached out twice since then, but then he told me the last I reached out, which
Mhm.
was probably a
If
couple of weeks ago, told me I guess you guys are changing companies or
We're
something.
doing so much in the back end, and I had to give all of us June 1st. So what we're coming up with, and Phil's probably not going to be happy that he's going to be the one that wants to tell you guys. We're coming up with marketing packages for websites and brand books and things like that for you guys as well. But one of my criteria was that it has to be very affordable, like really, really affordable, and it has to be in-house. So
Yeah.
what he was looking
Yes,
at
he
was
kind
that,
of mentioned that. He didn't get into detail. So I was
yeah,
like, all
because
right, I'll sit tight. Like,
oh, June,
'cause I
girl,
feel like
June
I need to
1st.
reach beyond the friends and family a little
No,
bit.
absolutely. So what, and again, you guys know, I always am very transparent. What we were originally looking at was getting somebody out from the outside to do it. But then I was like, that's going to cost. And one thing I always want to do is keep your costs as low as possible. So we came up with Phil will be designing the sites. So I know. I'm like, well, why don't you do it? And I'm already paying you. So, so we're coming up with different packages for you guys. And the same thing, our deadline for this new overhaul website training, including this stuff. Because Phil was like, well, a lot of times people are asking me, like, hey, great, you're telling me I need a website. Can you make one? And he's like, Sam, we have a problem. Like, we need to come up with a solution. And the brand books and all of those marketing things, like if someone wants a logo, all of that stuff, we have to do it in-house because if we start sending it outside, it's going to cost you guys too much. And I don't want someone quoting you like 750 or $800 for a website, right? So this is all the behind the scenes stuff that we've been working on. So I promise you, June 1st, we will have all of that stuff on the site for you guys. So that way you're able to literally click and book it, and Phil's able to build you a website. Or if you're like, I don't even need a website yet, I need a logo. Or I know Vanessa, he's been telling me about the flyer situation forever. That's me, girl, my bad. Like he's like, Sam, Vanessa wants a flyer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have to like figure out stuff for you guys where it's so cheap and there are perks of you doing the stuff, or having us do it for you as a perk of you guys being one of our agents. So that is just the things we're working on. So Eileen, I promise you, he's not home yet, but when he gets home, I'll also tell him to touch base with you. It is something that June 1st you'll be able to do
Okay.
or grab.
I
Definitely.
just have to say this was like a few years ago. Like I have some cheap people in my family too. It's like they would see the cheap price, like with cruises, like, oh, I see it's only, $400. And it was like, well, yeah, if you want to like be in the room with no windows like down by the engine, it's like then you start adding in all the stuff and then like you hit crickets, like you don't hear from them.
Yeah.
It's like
And I mean, we still get those people, right? It's not just our family and friends. You will still get
yes.
like cheap clients, period. Or like do all this work and people ghost you. I still get ghosted all the time. And this is people who will pay and still ghost me, right? So it's like it's one of those things, it comes with the territory, right? But yes, I just feel like before, I want you guys to maximize or at least try family and their network, right? Because it's like sometimes we are just feeling like I don't even know where to start. So we're like, just start with people who know you. Start, and it may just be like, okay, like I told Mika, it may not be, someone booking with you, but you're like, can you just send out a flyer? Or, hey, I just launched my website. Can you share this with
Right.
on social media or on your stories or people just send this out for me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even do that. I'm not even asking you to book. I'm just asking you to send out my website. Then at least if they don't even do that, you're like, well, that's one marketing source. That's something I tried. But a lot of us are not even trying that. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Ava's on my lap because she's sick. So you guys may hear her cough or sneeze. But yeah, we just at least want you guys to try and then see what the results are and then, build out from that.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. I just was wondering, I'm like, I don't want to reach out to somebody else. I was like, I want to keep it in
No,
the
it's
family,
me, girl. It's me. It's me. I literally had to put a timeline on everything because I'm like, we were speaking to a lot of agents who are like, it's still too much information, Sam. Like, I don't know where to do training. And I'm like, oh no, we just gotta, simplify this even more. And from that, it became, we just need to overall everything we're doing. And it's just a little bit time consuming with everything else we're doing. So that's why it's taking so long. But we were trying to do this at the beginning of the year. But all those one-on-one, all of those, Deb reaching out to you guys, Phil reaching out, like these are all the things that we are getting back. And we're like, okay, there's a need for this, so we now have to figure it out, and that's what we've been working on. So again, my goal is June 1st to have this out there, and then yeah, you guys will have everything like that you would need. And of course, we'll still be, you know, revising and making everything better as we've been trying to do for the last 7 years.
Hey, Sam, really quickly, I know we are trying to get off, and I apologize. There's two questions, and if you want to address it at a later date, that's fine. One, are we going to still do the, oh my gosh, Paris/Bali next year?
No,
We meaning you, Just Adventures, and then other agents can tag on.
no, and I'll do the Cliff Note version. And I actually talked about this in the Q&A last week. I decided that my focus and, Mel and I and NASA and a few of us was talking about doing Panama next year for friends and family. I think I just want to put all of my eggs from this point on into friends and family, whatever that looks like. Because I want my focus now, my full-time focus to be the host agency. And I feel like that's also a reason why I've also stopped taking destination weddings, and I'm playing with the idea of like actually referring some of those weddings out to you guys as well and just individual things. But I really want to have my main focus be the host agency, doing more Q&As throughout the week, more lives and things like that. And just my workload right now don't allow that. And one of the big things is the group trips. It takes so you guys know, you guys do group trip. It takes so much time. So I'm for the time being next year and maybe even continuously, I'm actually stopping the destination weddings. I'm also stopping the group trips so that 100% of my focus could be the host agency and private clients. So I will be taking a handful of clients throughout the year, but I don't want to keep doing to keep working at the level I'm working with, and I'm feeling like I'm not able to give you guys 100%, if that makes sense. So Ness,
Mhm.
however, I'm always down to go to Paris with friends.
Okay.
So I told this to
Wow.
Lindy as well. If it's a matter of just a personal trip to Paris and you're like,
Okay.
hey, Sam, I want to go. But something that happened when we were in Atlantic City, I was holding 10 rooms and the hotel dropped the rooms for Paris. And I spent 2 hours when I'm supposed to be learning about ensemble, calling,
Oh,
Expedia, calling the hotel, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, this is like the host agency time, and I'm dealing with the hotel dropping all my rooms and all of this stuff. And that's when I just made that decision. Like, I can't keep doing so much. You know what I mean? So,
Understood.
but if you're like, hey Sam, I want to go to Paris for a weekend, I'm still going to Paris every year and I'm still going to Bali every year.
Right.
I'm just not at the level of curating the trip, marketing it, doing all of that stuff. I can't do it, especially with my wedding business now also taking off the way it has. So,
Right.
um,
Okay.
however, you and Lindy are both on this call. If you guys would like to go to Paris with me and we just go as friends, that's a whole different conversation. And that we can have off.
I'm
Yes.
down for it. You know, April's my birthday. The end of March is Tracy's birthday. So
Yep.
I'm
I,
down.
I'm
Okay.
so down. I just don't want to
Yes, I want to go.
Yeah, I just don't want to do it. Yeah, I just want to say, hey, girls, here's where we're going. Here's the date, and we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I can't.
Yep,
Um,
let's go.
but I am down to always go to Paris to go shopping and do all of that good stuff. So we'll talk about that offline. But next year will only be Panama.
Good.
If
As the August friends and family, correct?
Yes. Yes,
Good.
yes. And I want to put all of my marketing efforts behind because like I'm like, oh, if it's a really cool trip once a year, I rather just tell people like, hey, let's go to and it could be Europe, right? We were talking about doing it in Europe. It could be Bali one year. It could be it's just that I want to if I'm going to do a trip, it's going to be friends and family because I enjoy it. I could bring Ava, I could bring Phil, and I could just invite everybody to one trip instead of trying to do 10 trips, plus destination weddings, plus my clients and all of that stuff. So that's the plan.
Okay. Thank you for that. We'll talk behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll talk behind the scenes. Did you have another question?
It was nope, that was it. It was the Bali thing also, but you also mentioned not Paris, not Bali. So we're good.
Yep, yep. But we could talk offline. Definitely.
Cool. Cool beans. Thank you everyone for staying on. I mean, good, Sam. Sorry.
Phil's gonna kill me.
I feel bad. I kept up for my last question.
No, Phil's gonna kill me because he told me 20 minutes. He's like, Sam. But did anybody else have any questions or thoughts or anything like that? No? All right. So I hope this was useful, guys. Again, Phil is at your disposal. You guys are always able to just check in with him, run ideas by him. And like I said, we're going to be having some in-home tools, but also with the in-home tools, because I'm not always just also into like trying to upsell you guys on services that we have. We're going to be doing on the roadmap, the training roadmap, we're going to talk about marketing as well. So there are certain things that I'm going to need you guys to do as well for Ensemble. Ensemble is, first of all, I'm paying a lot of money for Ensemble, and I need you guys to use it. And there's so many free tools, marketing tools on Ensemble that we just learned about, like HubSpot, CRMs that they do for free that you guys have under my membership that I didn't even know about, which is one of the reasons why we went to Atlantic City. So all of that stuff will be listed on, so there will be a more organized also marketing like roadmap as well that is already included in your membership. It's already free. So there's lots of stuff that I want you guys to do and to try. And we want to kind of, again, handhold you so that you could say, okay, well, yes, I reached out to my friends and family, like Sam said. I went on Ensemble and filled out my profile, because now Ensemble is going to start recommending agents to people. Like there's so much stuff that they're working on. So we're like, we just have to make sure there's destination weddings training for free on Ensemble that the Training Institute charges people. So we just want to make sure all of that stuff is really streamlined and clear for you guys. So that way, yes, we can provide you websites, we can do flyers, we can do all of this stuff for you. But before you even go to that route, there is another route where there's a lot of free marketing tools that's already available to you guys that you don't even know about. So we're gonna make sure that you know about all of that stuff. And yeah, so that's it. Again, thank you so much for joining tonight. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit, a little something extra, and we'll reach out to your friends and family to start seeing if you could do business with them or for them, or if they can just, again, send out your information to their network as well. And I think this is a great starting point. If you are having a difficult time finding clients, I would say this is step one. So definitely give it a try and let us know how it works out. Okay. And then feel free to please reach out to Phil to set up a one-on-one so that he can give you, again, advice as well for your businesses. But that's it, everyone. Have a great night. Sorry I kept you longer. If Phil asked, this was only 20 minutes. And let us know if you have any questions, okay? I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night.